if a willful act, not only surface, but even a
Hindi pa
Filipino citizen,
nagsisipipin na
if a
sister.
Filipino
Kaya,
citizen is killed by a willful act, that is, I think, very, very close to what we define as an act of war, and therefore we will respect accordingly. And our treaty partners, I believe, also hold that same standard. Or when the actions, the joint action will be undertaken in support of any such incident in the Philippines. We already have suffered injuries, but thank God we have not
hindi siya
yet
pag-asa dahil.
gotten to the point where any of our participants, civilian or otherwise, have been killed. But once we get to that point, that is certainly would have crossed the Rubicon. Certainly crossed the Rubicon. Is that a red line? Almost certainly it's a red
My question relates to your vision for the force posture of the Philippines by the end. So the Philippines has always discussed that defense of our national territory is primarily our responsibility under the unilateral defense plan. So what specific force packages are you eyeing particularly in the next couple of years? And what exactly are we to expect after Horizon 2080 modernization?
Thank you. Well, what the gentleman is referring to the Horizon acquisition program, our Department of National Defense is just completed. And then we are presently in the process of finding some monies for all the different requirements that we have to build up our capabilities in the armed forces of the Philippines. And that we are hoping that these acts are just terrorists. And we, as they say, to work for peace, prepare for war. And there is an unfortunate truth, but and that is why we have undertaken this long-term. It has been going on for many years now. This long-term plan of increasing the capabilities of our military and civilians such as the Coast Guard in the Philippines. I thank the International Institute for Strategic Studies for convening this open, frank, and constructive conversation on pressing strategic issues confronting our region. We Filipinos are paragons of this region. Our history reflects the values that engender amity, fraternity, and strong equality among states. Our commitment to peace and to the rule of law inheres in how we have defined our sovereign home. When we established our Commonwealth in 1935, we put together a constitution that defined our territory in accordance with the international treaties that became the basis of our archipelagic unity. The Treaty of Paris between Spain and the United States crystallized our islands into a cohesive whole. The Treaty of Washington clarified the extent of our sovereignty and patrimony in a line set by international. We still uphold and preserve the integrity of our country's physical unity through international law. Together with others, we put forward the archipelagic doctrine, which regards all archipelagic states as a single unit, with by the world's leading jurists. So the lines that we draw in our waters are not derived from just our imagination, but from international law. We have on our side the 1982 UNCLOS and the binding 2016 Arbitral Award, which affirms what is ours by legal right. In this solid footing and through our clear moral ascendancy, we find the strength to do whatever it takes to protect our sovereign home, the last square inch to the last square millimeter. The life-giving waters of the West Philippine Sea flow in the blood of every Filipino. We cannot allow anyone to detach the totality of the maritime domain that renders our nation home. As president, I have sworn to this solemn commitment from the very first day that I took office. I do not intend to yield. Filipinos do not yield. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not only unyielding in protecting our patrimony, our rights, and our dignity as a proud and as a free country. We are also firm in our commitment to regional and global peace. We renew this commitment at this turbulent juncture of our history. I will repeat what I said at the United Nations almost 2 years ago. Amidst challenging global times, an important balance standardizes our common vessel. Our open, inclusive, and rules-based international order is governed by international law and informed by the principles of equity and moral justice. For the past 79 years, this rules-based order has allowed our region to flourish. The stability and the predictability that it has engendered has been crucial to the success of the stories of our region.
Taglong
In
agday.
1982, we led our global community unanimously adopting the Manila Declaration on the peaceful settlement of disputes. This affirmed that differences amongst nations must always be solved peacefully through legal and diplomatic processes, never through the threat of the use of force. Today, these terms are under significant stress. The world is facing a watershed moment. In our region, recent patterns of aggression and militarization and emerging arms races threaten our lands with an uncertain future. In the midst of these significant shifts, I see 7 realities in the Indo-Pacific. First, the future of our region will be determined by many nations, each with its own unique experiences and aspirations. Yet, their respective agencies are being challenged by attempts to undermine our faith in prevailing international norms. Second, the strategic competition between China and the United States is permeating the evolving regional landscape. This rivalry is constraining the strategic choices of regional states. This contest is exacerbating flashpoints and has created new security dynamics. Third, the region looks to ASEAN as an institution that will hold the center amidst these evolving dynamics. Yet, challenges threaten our unity and our centrality. Fourth, as geopolitics continues to permeate the global governance infrastructure, the role of bridge builders has become increasingly important. Forge decisive multilateral solutions. Fifth, the global commons will continue to be crucial to the security of all states in the region. Access of developing countries to the high seas and outer space and the peaceful uses of science and technologies is crucial to international development. Sixth, climate change remains a deadly challenge for the region and for the world. It is the first truly global threat, and for the first time, we face a crisis that affects every single human being on Earth and requires action from every single human being as well. And finally, the we must push through. The current juncture does not call for a revision of the regional order. Instead, it calls for the reaffirmation of the wisdom of San Francisco in 1945, of Bangkok in 1967, and of Manila in 1980. Let us return to San Francisco and reaffirm the sovereign equality of all states. Must reject unjust narratives that seek to subsume distinct national interests in the so-called major country dynamic, which seeks to impose a hierarchy amongst nations. Those who came before us worked painstakingly throughout the last century to bury the era of spheres of influence in buffer states. We should not allow its ghost to haunt our region once again. Let us also return to Bangkok and support ASEAN's effort to build a rules-based, international, and people-oriented and centered on regional community. Any state that professes its stake in the continued peace and stability of this region must respect ASEAN's centrality, not only with words, but with action. All partnerships and arrangements must never displace or dilute, but rather uphold and complement ASEAN's central role. So let us return as well to Manila and reaffirm our common understanding of how international law governs the peaceful settlement of disputes. Amidst misleading narratives that seek to discredit international legal procedures, there is a need to reaffirm that those modalities are an expression of good faith. They are a service to the progressive development and codification of international law. They are never an unfriendly act. Ladies and gentlemen, the past inspires the needed clarity and foresight to confront the challenges of the present and to build a future to which we all aspire. From the achievements of San Francisco, Bangkok, Manila, we as a region draw our abiding compass. First, the sovereign equality of states must remain sacrosanct. Second, ASEAN and ASEAN-led processes must remain central. Third, the rule of law and the integrity of multilateralism must prevail. These three constants guide our efforts to prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead. We need to begin by resoundingly rejecting misguided interpretations that paint our region as a mere theater of geopolitical rivals. must therefore step back from the precipice of paralysis. We should transcend geopolitics, find common ground, work to strengthen global institutions. The Indo-Pacific holds much promise as the fastest growing economic hub and the largest contributor to global growth. That premise must be kept alive. Furthermore, promise must be fulfilled. Geopolitics must not distract us from our fundamental duty as civil servants, as public intellectuals, as statesmen, to deliver for our people and to safeguard the future of the coming generations. This is the reason why we strive for security and for peace. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our core purpose, our collective commitment, our cause. It is what is most noble of causes that must come together to win the future of our people and to make a better world.
Steffi.
With your help, with our partners, with the alliances, we'll make it happen. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Hi Morat. Hello. Morat, sini mo sila. Morat? Oo, ganun agmamin. Why? Sila ko yung ag. Yung ag, pero Donald Trump.